right. Oh. Oh. All right, let's. All right, good. Do it.
Do it. Do it. Spam everyone. Spam them all. All of them.
Okay, here we go. That's so beautiful. All right, let's try again. There we go. What's up, folks? What's up, Hal Jordan, Forgotten Knight, Enma, Robert Young, Danny, Witherlord, ABCD. You need like another vowel in there. Abcod. We'll call you Abcod. We need to put a vowel in there so we can pronounce it. Bo, what up? Witherlord, hey. Wait, did I say that? I think I already said hi to you. I don't think you get two. It's just like one per person. Paydirt, JJ, what's up, Danny? Schmeckles, Beth, hello. Evan, Dan Bayer. Gotta keep scrolling up. Who did I miss? Sven, what up? Jack? Jack? Hello. Captain Jiggles. What up? What's up, Tashio? Rebel Buffoon. Caleb. What's up, Robin? Glad to hear you like the channel, yo. That's cool. I like making videos. Most of the time. Quasums, what up, dude? Oh, wow, that's a name. UCFE Carcinero. Carnicero. Hey! El carnicero! Yo quiero carne. Ah! Quiero chuleta. Chuleta de cerdo con ajo, pimienta y sal. Bonito. Yeah, make me some pork chops. El carcinero ha llegado. Uchimata Master. Okay, dude. What up, man? Abcod. Yeah, I'm going with Abcod. Danny, don't be getting down on me because of how I pronounce things. This is who I am. Let me be my full self. What is this? Where did I get this coffee mug? Hey, Danny, can you link the mug? Somebody link the mug. Agthale, we have so many. That's a common question. We actually have a command. We'll link the mug. Link the mug. Come on! Exclamation point mug. Come on, moderators. Let's go. Moderators, do your jobs. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Did it work? Okay, cool. There it is. That's a pretty close approximation to the mug I have. It's not the exact same mug, but it's close. Hey, Artificial Squid, thanks for the $2.03 super chat. Appreciate that. A coffee cam classical. Oh yeah, totally, absolutely. I have something else for my coffee cam today too. I have something special today. Oh, look at that. The coffee cam now has competition right there. That's what the coffee cam has. Oh, look at that. Hear that clacky clack sound? Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, yeah, it's nice. Yeah, Rory. Squeaky, what? What do you call a tabletop game that helps you find a way home when you're lost? Pathfinder. Oh, that's classic, dude. You should patent that one right there. Yes, it's from Enchanted Knights. Oh, do they really have a website? Enchantedknights.com? They have a website? No way. Enchantedknights.com. It's not secure. Their website is not secure. Okay, that doesn't make me feel comfortable. They have an unsecured website. Okay. Yeah, I can't even navigate it. Where is their junk? Okay, I can't navigate that. It's gonna take some time to figure out how to navigate their website. Not doing that now. They should probably have somebody look at that. The coffee cam is getting replaced? No. I mean, when we need the dice tray, we'll use the dice tray, but if we don't need it, then we'll have coffee cam. We're 30.5K away from 100K subscribers. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're a little over 60 right now. Dude, no, we just passed 60. I'm like 39.5K away, dude. It's almost 40K. I had trouble with the website too. Yeah, it's a horrible website. I mean, I can look at it in 2 seconds and realize that it was designed in like 1980 or something. Abcod. So we're actually going to be doing adventure creation a lot more on the channel. It's probably going to be like every other week we're going to do adventure creation, because what I have found is that whatever we create on the channel, I put them out for free for people in the community to download, use, and stuff like that. And what I've found is that people use the adventures way more than all of the other content that I create. And so I figure if people want the adventures and that's what they find most useful, then we should probably focus on making the adventures, because that's what people get value out of. Also, almost everything that we do, like when you create an adventure, you're exercising the full gamut of skills. You're creating NPCs, you're creating traps, you're creating encounters, you're like doing everything. So it's good. Yeah, it's good. So yeah, there'll be lots more adventure creation going on, for sure. Hell Jordan has pizza. I have refrained from getting pizza for a while now, because there's a reoccurring pattern that when I get pizza, my stomach gets messed up. I have problems. It's not good. So I think I'm probably gonna try to cut back on the pizza as much as possible until I just can't resist, and then I'll probably cave and buckle to pressure and get pizza anyway and pay the price. No, nobody has ever told me that they're my father. It's the weirdest thing. I know I love pizza too. Have tacos? No, I don't want tacos. Baleadas. I'll take baleadas. Those are good. That's like that's a Honduran specialty. Those are really good. Hey Stephanie, what's going on? How you doing? I'm not lactose intolerant because I drink crap tons of milk. I have milk almost every single morning with like whey protein and stuff. I eat cheese. I ate a bunch of cheese today, a couple different times. So I don't have any problem with milk. I think it's partly because of the grease. It could be because there's so much processed garbage in pizza. I don't know. Like, I'm used to eating. Most of the food I eat is like homemade. It's not like processed or anything. It's lots of like, I don't know, vegetables and homemade crap. So I just wonder if it's just pizza. It's so nasty for you that it just destroys me. I don't know. You're having lamen? I don't even know what lamen is. Hi, Maria. I have no idea what lamen is, but I'm if you're enjoying it, I'm happy for you. Make a pizza with less grease. The pizza I get, it doesn't have a whole lot of grease in it. There's this local place here that doesn't even have very greasy pizza. So there's another place I get pizza from, Cottage Inn, it's called, has crazy greasy stuff going on. But there's another one near where I am that it's not that greasy. It still messes me up. Hi, Maria. Danny, you lost a very thin sewing needle in your bed sheets. Oh my gosh. That, you know, why does that not surprise me? Penguin Butt, you might need to go help her out. I can't have her, like, you know. Something in the recipe doesn't agree with you? Maybe, but it's so good. Perhaps it's lactose and all the cheese and fats. It's got to be the fat and grease, dude. I mean, I eat. There are times you know, it could be the high fat quantity or something. The grease. Yeah, I don't know. We could hypothesize all day long on this. It doesn't really matter. We probably start now though. Probably get this show on the road. Here we go.
It is time to begin, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I forgot to change it. Whoops. Hey, what up? How's it going? So look at this. My cat is ruining my intro. She's playing with the toy. She totally killed my intro. Hey, mommy, you're messing my intro up. She's just looking at me. She doesn't care. She's like, I'm a cat. I'm gonna play with this toy. And then she got bored with it. All right, so tonight we are going to be doing two things on the stream. We're going to be asking. Well, let's see. You ask the questions, I answer the questions. We hang out, we chill, we shoot the crap, that sort of thing. And then we're going to about halfway through the stream, in a couple hours roughly, we're gonna head over to Twitch and we will finish up the stream over on Twitch, where we will be doing NPC creation, and everything we create together I will make available for people to use in their games and stuff. There'll be links all over the place where you can get it. Don't worry, if you can't find it, then you didn't look at all. So that'll be out there. Yeah, so that's the plan for tonight. So let's get stuff. Also, want to let you guys know, just another reminder here, before I jump in too hardcore with the questions and answers and stuff like that. If you don't already know, I have a Kickstarter that is going to be launching in September. It is a level 1 to 5 adventure module. I'm going to show you. Hold on, let me find a. Let me show you some cool stuff. This is like the cover art for it. This is going to be the poster. Level 1 to 5 adventure. It is featuring tons of Fey creatures, new Fey magic items, spells, all that kind of cool stuff. I've got at least some art commissioned, because these days you have to commission art to get the Kickstarter even going. So that'll launch on September 1st. It's really cool. I got merch and other crap going on with it too. I'm just gonna scroll through all of these pictures because I'm super pumped at all this crap. This is the mock-up of the book cover right here. Can I go out a little bit? Nah. So that's the mock-up of the book cover. Some more art for you. These are an example of the maps. My dungeon cartographer does these amazing maps. Actually, the one that she just turned in the other day is absolutely amazing too. Here's a little bit of a teaser for monster art. There's a dude called Jason doing the monster art. Really, really cool. Got some dice bags going on here. High quality micro suede. It's really cool. Got red lining and stuff. So merch, t-shirts and stuff like that. Ladies shirts, tactical tokens. Here's some more artwork. This is a razor gnome. This is one of my custom creatures that's going to be in the Kickstarter. This is a sprite. I've customized a bunch of sprite because there's only like one type of sprite, and you need more than one type of sprite if you're going to run an adventure with sprite in it. Sprites, probably sprites. Another razor gnome and another sprite. So yeah, there you go. Look for that thing on September 1st. It's gonna be really cool. And With that, I think we can start doing the questions. So start throwing me some questions, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, you can. So there's going to be digital. It'll be offered as a PDF. So anywhere in the world you are, you can get the PDF, no problem. The physical book will only ship to certain places. I'm working with a third-party logistics company to get all that stuff fleshed out. We don't have all the list of where it will go and won't go. There are definitely places it will not ship to, because there are some places in the world where, like, if you try to ship there, chances are it'll never get there. So, but you can always get the digital product. Those are always going to be available, obviously. But physical product will only ship to certain places. All right, Brad Chris. Thank you, sir, for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that. You landed a critical hit, slaying the Orc War Chief. Would you like to describe your killing blow? All right, I take my war axe and I slap it into his chest. And then as he looks down at it, blood dribbling across his chest, I put my foot up, yank it out. And then as he falls, I laugh at him. And I make fun of his mother. Yeah, that's the killing blow. I don't know. That's probably not a very good killing blow. I wasn't prepared for that. I need to redo later. Luke isn't wearing pants. I'm wearing shorts, dude. Shorts. I was watching one stream one day where the dude, like, he was streaming and then he had to get a book or something behind him. And he turned off his camera to go get the book, and then he turned it back on, and everybody in chat was like, "Oh, it's proof he's not wearing pants." I don't know. Maybe he wasn't. Why else would you turn the camera off? Oh, this is my mom. You guys, this is my mom. Dude, I called. It's her birthday. Hold on. I gotta tell my mom happy birthday. Hello. Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, how old are you? Wow, that's pretty young. That's pretty good. Oh, nice. Oh, that's awesome. We're on. Oh, sweet. So then you don't have to work anymore. Cool. Oh, so you're on my YouTube live stream right now because you called me right when I was streaming, and everybody in chat is wishing you a happy birthday. So, yeah. She's still stuck in Honduras. Yeah. Well, okay. My mom says thank you for wishing her a happy birthday. So she appreciates it. She's gonna give you all $25. Sorry, I just committed you to that. There's like over 100 people in here. It's a lot of money. All right, cool. All right, well, happy birthday, and you know, you can invite me over for cake sometime. Okay. Yeah, like outside or something, probably. As long as it's just us, just you and us two, basically. Okay, because if a bunch of other people. Okay, that should probably be okay. But if other people are over, then probably we can't. Okay. All right, that works. Okay, cool. Love you too. Bye. All right, so I tried to get you all $25. I don't know if she's gonna give you the money or not, but. All right, cool. Where were we? Kevin Clements says, Luke, do you do this full time? If so, is it good living? I don't do this full time. I have a full-time job on top of this one. And what I do right now, between YouTube and Twitch and the stuff that I make, the publish, all my other things, the Kickstarter and everything, it equates to a full-time job. So I pretty much have 2 full-time jobs right now. Does it pay well? Is it a good living? Almost. It's almost getting to the point where you can fully replace your full-time job's paychecks, you know, and maybe do it full-time. Not yet though. And I don't even know if I would do it. Even once I could quit my full-time job, you know, I don't know. I would almost want to just like probably just keep working there another year or two, pay off my house completely, and then at that point, do whatever I want. Then I almost want to, because it's a big risk, right? If I can get the risk of the house taken care of and paid off in like a year or two, you know, I don't know, that'd be pretty good. If I could do that, I think I'd be sitting pretty. And then I could probably just do it full time, maybe. We'll see. Oh, I don't even have my spreadsheet up. I should get that. How would you do a game giveaway for people younger than 18? Could you do a game giveaway for people younger than 18? It's a risk thing. It's a liability thing, dude. It has nothing to do with me not wanting to play with young people. I have a game. I've been running a gaming group they started when they were 12 years old, and I think they're now like 14 and 15. So I've been running for like kids and stuff for a while. It has nothing to do with that. It's a liability thing. It has to do with the fact that, you know, I'm gonna have like what, a 15-year-old playing with adults and stuff, and it's not wise. It's not wise. I'm looking for my spreadsheet. Where is this guy? My moderators keep a spreadsheet of the questions that you all ask, so that I don't. I mean, I'm gonna miss a lot of them. I'm gonna miss tons of your questions because there's only one of me. Which is why I stream on Twitch Mondays and Wednesdays as well, so you can answer more questions. It's taking a while to load. All right, August 14th. That's today. Excellent. Okay. I got the spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet is, oh, it's not empty. All right, cool. How are your cats? Orange specifically. You're specifically asking about Orange? They're all doing very well right now. Thanks. Orange is as tubby and afraid of everything as ever. Yeah. Spammers die. Witherlord says, hello everyone, welcome to Luke's D&D NPC creation and DM Q&A featuring Luke's mom, the cats, and the mug merch. You love Orange the most? Cool. Yeah, Orange is a big goof. He's a big doofus. There's like, you look into his eyes and there's nothing going on in his eyes. He's just like, do you think you will get popular on YouTube? What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, how many subs is popular? 1 million subscribers, dude. You know what? The interesting thing is that the number of subscribers you have does not at all equate to being able to do it full time. There are people I know channels that are well over 100,000 subs. I know a channel that's over 200,000 subs. They don't make enough money to do this full time. You can't. Okay, so if you're about 20 years old and you're not married and you don't have a house and you don't have any real responsibilities or commitments, no children, no family or anything, you could probably do, if you get your channel up to a certain point. Like there are some other D&D content creators that are, you know, young bucks making some high subs and making some good money. They can live off from YouTube revenue alone. Trust me, they can. But once you have like house, family, and other stuff going on, you can't really live off from YouTube revenue unless you're very, very significant size channel, you know. But around the size that I am, or even over 100,000, you know, you got to have other sources of income. You need to be doing stuff on Twitch and have Twitch income. You need to have products that you're selling. You need to have Patreon things coming in. You need to have multiple revenue streams to be able to pull that off, and that's what I'm working on right now. But just getting YouTube AdSense revenue does not pay the bills necessarily. It helps a lot. It can be really, really good. The thing is, it has nothing to do with the number of subscribers you have. It has to do with the number of views you get. It also has to do with different channels make higher amount of money per, like, you know, CPMs I think are what they call it. But basically, not every channel it gets the same amount of money per view or per click or anything like that. Because there are big massive channels that get like 10,000 views a video. They're not making any money. You know, you need to get way more views than that, you know. So it's less about the subscribers and how many subscribers you have, and it's more about how many views you get. Obviously, usually more subscribers means you get more views, but not always. Not always. But that's delving into the YouTube monster right there. I don't know how many people here are actually interested in that. Maria says, my group is close to the last session, but all clues about who the big bad is have flown over the PC's heads. How do I avoid it being anticlimactic if the evil guys manage to win? I don't think the evil guy managing to win is anticlimactic. There's nothing. There have been campaigns that have ended with the PCs winning, and I thought to myself, it might have been better if they had lost. So that's not necessarily anticlimactic. So I wouldn't worry about that. If they lose, they lose. And here's the thing about giving clues to players. I feel like a dungeon master has to be pretty blunt. Being clever and burying clues all over the place isn't usually going to work. Players vary, right? Some players are far more engaged and nuanced than others, you know, but I've found in my experience that little tiny clues usually don't do the trick. They're not going to get them. They're going to miss them. We know them. Like the dungeon master, it's very clear to the dungeon master what the clues are because we live and breathe that stuff and we put it there. But it's not clear to our players. We have to be more like obvious with clues and hints to our players if we expect them to get them. And there's nothing wrong with. I'm pretty liberal with information in my games. I don't have a problem with giving my players lots of information. It helps excuse the difficulty of my combats and stuff because I'm like, hey, you guys had all the information you needed to prepare for this. So don't blame me. It's not like you didn't know they were going to be vampires. You knew they were vampires, and yet you walked in with no silvered weapons. You know, or werewolves and no silvered weapons or something. So I'm pretty liberal with information. Hey, Rebel Buffoon, thank you, sir, for becoming a member. I appreciate that, buddy. How do I fix DMing mistakes that I made that I shouldn't have done, like an NPC force a PC into bed and I don't know how to fix it? So don't do that, first of all. Never do that. If that's a bad decision. Apologize to your players. Say you're sorry. Say you screwed up and you have no excuse. And don't blame it on the lack of a what the heck was it? What did he blame it on? He blamed it on the lack of a agreement between the dungeon masters and the players on having a safety discussion. They didn't have proper safety discussions about what is acceptable in the game for you and stuff. Look, when you screw up, just own it. Just own it and apologize. Don't pull some horse crap excuse out of your butt about how we didn't have a safety discussion. That's what the problem was. That's ridiculous. Grow up, be a man. If you screw up, admit to it. You know, people might forgive you. So yeah, don't do that. So that's how you fix DMing mistakes. You talk to your players, you apologize, and you try to do better next time. That's the answer. Do you have any advice on making sure the adventures one makes aren't too linear? No, not really. Adventures are usually there's nothing wrong with an adventure being linear. There's nothing wrong with that. Most adventures are linear. I don't think there's any problem whatsoever with an adventure being mostly linear. I never worry about whether my adventures are linear or not. The thing that I focus on when I create an adventure is I focus on there being a situation, a problem, that it could be a dungeon, it could be a castle that's under siege, it could be a castle that they have to break into, it could be a dungeon they got to sneak into and steal some stuff. But I never tell my players or put restrictions on how they accomplish their goal. There is an adventure, there is a problem, there is a situation that needs to be resolved, but my players have the option of approaching that however they want. Many times it involves just going in there and killing most of the things, sure, but I don't force them to do that. I don't, you know what I mean? So like, I don't worry about the linear stuff. I just want to make sure they have freedom to approach that situation however they want, whether it's diplomacy and maybe having that work. And diplomacy is not always going to work, yo. Orcs are orcs, goblins are goblins, and mind flayers are mind flayers. Or sometimes sweet talking just doesn't work, you know. But you can always try other things besides just killing everyone. So there are other solutions that can be tried. I don't worry about the linear thing, you know. I don't worry about it too much. So I don't think I have a good answer for you. Can your Kickstarter be shipped to Germany? Oh, almost assuredly. Almost assuredly. The third-party logistics company that I'm working with, they can ship anywhere in the world, but there are certain places that we're not going to ship to. You're like, Luke, if you try to ship to these countries here, big problems. Just don't do it. Germany, absolutely not a problem. Most places in the European Union, that area of Europe and stuff, most places, not all. I think there are probably some where packages disappear, they never get there, blah, 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 etc. problems, you know, but Germany's not a problem. Tips on creating a one-shot that usually lasts one session. I have an entire video about creating one-shots on my channel. It's an older video, but it goes over all my techniques, I think. The most important part about creating a one-shot is the bookends. You want to have the adventure beginning with a powerful hook. It clearly explains to them what their objective is. And then you want to have the ending. Everything in between is flexible. So in a one shot where you have 4 hours, like I run at conventions a lot, and so I have 4 hours to run a game. And the game stops once 4 hours is over. So my goal is to get them a satisfying ending, that other bookend. So everything in between is flexible. I can pull scenes out, I can drop stuff, I can get rid of them if we're running low on time. So that is the way to do a one shot. Now I've done one shots on Twitch before, and I don't always, there was one that I did once for the moderators that went over quite a bit. But I do other ones that usually end within 4 hours, and that's the trick, you know. I did one recently though that was not a very satisfying ending. I screwed the ending up. Which I'm not too happy about, but what are you gonna do? I know better next time. On the topic of clues and anticlimax, do you do debriefs with your players and discuss these said clues with them? If the discussion doesn't affect the story anymore, that is. No, I don't. Nope. So to me, sometimes I do, but it's only because I can't resist the temptation. But usually I don't like rolling back the DM screen, so to speak. I don't like giving them a view of all of the things that they missed, or all of the loot that they could have had, or what would have happened if they had done this or that, or what was behind that door we never got there. I don't tell them. I don't roll back the screen. I don't show them those things. I want there to be that mystery, that sense of never knowing what could have been there. Now, do I have the strong temptation to do that? Of course, because it's like, it's the cool little secret, you know? But I resist it as much as possible. Do my players tell me that they want to know? Of course, they're always going to be like, Luke, tell us. But I don't. I almost always refuse to tell them when they ask me that sort of thing. Ask my players. They're like, Luke doesn't tell us crap. If we don't discover it organically in the game, I avoid that. I want them to feel that continuing sense of, what would have happened if? Because that almost continues to keep that drama and suspense going after the game. You know what I mean? As opposed to, if I just told them, they'd be like, oh, that's what happened? Oh, okay. You know, maybe it's cool for a moment, but then there's no continuing sense of like mystery or anything. It's over because you kind of ruined it, you know? So I don't tell them that stuff. Andrew says, my party TPK'd on the big bad snake guy in OMU. OMU. I don't know what that means. Acronyms that I don't understand. And we decided to end the campaign there. What are some of the ways you can introduce new characters seamlessly and without it feeling cheap. If you ended the campaign, then the campaign's done. So you're starting a new campaign, right? So you just want to know new ways to introduce characters seamlessly and without it feeling cheap? I just did a video recently about how to start a campaign besides meeting in a tavern. And there are different ideas in there for starting a new campaign, if that's what you're asking for. If you're talking about continuing a campaign and not ending it, and how to introduce new characters seamlessly without it feeling cheap, I usually don't try. I usually don't bother. It's kind of like worrying too much about having an awesome ending to your game. Like we spent 3 years playing this game, and then there's the ending, and putting too much, oh, the ending has to be amazing. It's like, why? The journey was amazing. The ending is another part of that journey. Why does the ending have to be so amazing? So we're talking about here, you had an entire campaign with lots of excitement and stuff, and then you're about to start a new campaign or continue it or something, and there's a little transition right here where you go from one to the next. It's a one moment in the game, you know? If you have campaigns and stuff full of amazing moments, you know, then if this one's a little rough or jumpy, you know, does it really matter? Let's just do it. Let's accept that this is a game. Hey, you guys all died. Okay, we're gonna have new characters come in. Roll up your new characters. All right, great. Let's get you guys in. All right. The Lords of Waterdeep approach you and explain to you that there's this problem going on, and they want you to keep helping. You know, just make it simple. You know, brainstorm ideas. I wouldn't be worried too much about it. It's kind of like the age-old thing of like, you know, so like you have 4 people playing in your game, right? And there's going to be a 5th person that joins, and you're like, oh man, the introduction has to be amazing when we bring this person in. It's just gotta be no, just get him in the game and play. Like it's a moment in time, you know, surrounded by like hundreds of hours of fun. Just don't worry about that moment. Just get him in the game. It's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about the introduction being amazing. You know, I probably didn't help you. I'm sorry. How do you get players? I ask for them. I have an entire video about how to find players. If you want to know how to find players, the biggest way is hanging up posters at game shops. The second way is Reddit is a flaming pile of trash, but the LFG subreddit is actually good for finding players. And most of the players I've found on LFG have been good, amazingly. Because the reputation of Reddit is like a flaming dumpster fire in general, but I've found good players on there. Which leads me to believe that it's the culture of that platform that makes people behave the way they behave, not because they're probably actually bad people, you know, which just is another comment about how horrible Reddit is, but let's not do that today. But yeah, I found good players, lots of good players on LFG subreddit, game shop posters. Those are the biggest ways that I've found players before. Of course, nowadays I could just post something on my YouTube channel and be like, I need players, and I would. So I don't probably be able to find any. Yeah. What are the names of your cats? All right, let's help Bob Saget out. Everybody, throw the names of my cats in the chat. I know there are people here that know the names of my cats by now. Most questions can be answered with, I have a video on that. Oh yeah, they can be. That's why I still try to give you some sort of response. But it's true. I have a video on many things now. I've been doing it for a while. Okay, Guapo Mommy. Yep. Hey Stanley, you're welcome, dude. I'm glad you like the channel, man. What's up, Dito? How you doing? Orange Squeaky. Yep. No, not Steve, not Keith. Nope. Squirty Pie. There's one. Squirty Pie. Little guy. Noki. Yep. Little girl's one of them. Okay, I'll just do it. Mommy, Squeaky, Orange, Squirty Pie. Those are the ones that are in the basement with me. And then the outdoor kitties are no longer outdoor kitties. So we'll call them the upstairs kitties. Are Mommy 2, also known as Noki, Little Guy, known as Ravioli, and Little Girl, known as Tortellini. Oh, those are the spaghetti kitties or the pasta kitties. My wife last night, I was talking to her and she's like, oh, the spaghetti kitties. She called them the spaghetti kitties. Los gatos de spaghetti is what she called them. Because all three of their names were named after pasta. Gnocchi, ravioli, and tortellini. Los gatos de spaghetti. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. Forgot Squirty Pie? Don't forget Squirty Pie. Yeah, there are some things that I don't have videos on. I have a whole list of new ideas to make videos on. I was actually just creeping on somebody else's channel, and I was looking at all the videos he's done that have been the most popular, and I was like, oh, I don't have a video on that. 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 That's a great way to get video ideas, man. Just be like, oh, I can talk about that. Oh, I can talk about that too. Those are good topics, you know? So yeah, there's always more stuff to make videos on. How can I use the guild backgrounds in a non-Ravnica campaign? I'm not familiar with the guild backgrounds, but if you want people, you'd have to have people be in guilds. You'd create the guilds, or you'd tell your players that the guild backgrounds are available. And I think it's as simple as that. And then they can pick them and then they use them. I'm not familiar with it though, so there might be more work to it. But I don't think it's hard. You just say, there, players, you're allowed to pick these things. In the same way, to introduce Acquisitions Incorporated into my game, I just say, okay, we're using Acquisitions Incorporated. You guys can all now pick a company role. And then they picked company role, and it was pretty much that easy. I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but it's not that hard. It was. Have you ever run or played RPGs of different genre that were not fantasy? I've played Call of Cthulhu a few times, and I really like it. I like Call of Cthulhu a lot. So yes, I have, but mostly it's been fantasy. Fantasy is my love, dude. I love fantasy games. I love D&D. I don't see myself converting anytime soon. When is the Barbarian video coming out? I think I script the one where he's telling the history of what was it? Beholders? I think he's talking about the lore of Beholders. I think I'm recording that one next week. So it'll come out the month of September. Yeah, it'll come out the month of September. A pirate adventure? Ships. Islands with dungeons on them, underwater dungeons, that sort of stuff. Get Ghosts of Salt Marsh, a module that probably has some ideas in it. But there's gonna be a point in time where you if you're just if the PCs are always on a ship, it seems like things are gonna get stale pretty fast. How many times can you have like sea creatures attack them from the depths, or another ship come in and attack them? You know, at some point you have to get back to land. You have to get back to dungeons or castles or buildings. Everything's a dungeon, right? The adventures take place in locations and stuff. So I feel like if I were running a nautical campaign, it would be focused more on like, yeah, you're in ships and stuff, but the ships are transportation that gets you to the place where the adventure takes place. Are cool things going to happen on the ships? Yeah, but that's the mechanism to get to cool places, exotic locales or underwater places you got to go or something. I don't know how like the way that I run games, only ever staying on a ship would not work. Like that's not how I don't run games that way. You would just have like a series of, you'd have one big encounter and then travel, one big encounter and then travel. I don't run my games like that. So that wouldn't work for me. There'd have to be locations, places they could go to actually have the real adventures as far as how I run my games. Yep, that's definitely a bad. Is it okay for a DM to be a rules lawyer? You don't have to be a rules lawyer if you're a DM. Like you're the dungeon master. A rules lawyer is not somebody who knows the rules and follows the rules. That's not what a rules lawyer is. A dungeon master who knows the rules and follows the rules is great. In fact, that's pretty much how I am. I know most of the rules, or I know the rules that gets used the most, and I follow them. I use the rules, and I think that's a good practice for dungeon masters to have. It gives your players a solid foundation of understanding. They know exactly what the rules are because it's what's in the book, and they know what to expect at your game table, and they're not going to find surprises where it's like, oh, whoa, that's a weird house rule. I didn't see that coming. So I think it's my preferred way to just follow the rules. It avoids discussions, it avoids arguments, it makes my life easier. So that's not a rules lawyer though. A rules lawyer and a player who knows the rules and follows the rules and might help educate the dungeon master from time to time. That's not a rules lawyer. A rules lawyer is somebody who, well, there are two ways to look at it. One, the guy who wants to argue about rules, rules that might have different nuances to them that aren't perfectly clear. You could call that a rules lawyer. But a rules lawyer is also somebody who will use perhaps the letter of the law to violate the spirit of the law. So rules, twisting them to get certain effects and stuff. Hey, this is raw. This is legal. There's nothing wrong with this, except that is just absolutely broken and destroys the game and ruins everybody's fun. Yeah, but it's legal. It's legal. It's you know what I mean? So that's more, I think, what we are talking about when we say rules lawyer. And I would never ever be a rules lawyer. That's just not fun. That rules lawyers generally ruin fun for other people, and I don't want that. To help combats running faster, I tell my players the AC they need to hit, so they don't need to wait to roll damage or not and move on. Do you think that's a bad idea? No. Generally what I do is the first round of combat, maybe the second round of combat, I'm not going to tell them what the AC is. But once the players have attacked enough times, they kind of have a good idea of it. At that point, I'll tell them not all the time, but a lot of times I'll just tell them what the AC is to make things go faster. There's nothing wrong with that. They figure it out eventually anyway. My players do. They'll roll several times and be like, oh, we just found his AC. It's 16. They're going to find out eventually. I don't tell them out of the gate. But sometimes I do eventually. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. My players would prefer to loot a body than help a party member in battle. They're morons then. I tried the sharing pool loot you mentioned in one of your vids, but they hate it. Any other tips? So they're just competing with each other? They're turning into a player versus player game? Like, that's what that is. That's what that is. A monster dies, I'm gonna run over and loot the body so that I can keep everything for myself while other people are getting murdered and attacked. And then when another body goes down, whichever player can get to it first gets all the loot. That's like an every man for himself scenario, and they're not even playing a group game. I have a fundamental issue with that. Like, if my players acted that way, I would probably talk to them and explain why that's a problem. And I'd get new players. I wouldn't put up with that. I am not going to run a PvP game where you guys are all competing with each other and you won't work together. I'm not running that game. I have no interest in running that game. That's totally PvP, and it's my fun at the expense of everybody else's fun, that mentality, and I don't like that at all. I don't know that I have a good solution for you, dude. I'll tell you what I would do. I would have a talk with them, and if they still want to do PvP, then they can find a different dungeon master to run a PvP game for them. That's where I would stand on that. Personally, because I just don't want to. I don't want to run that game. Do I like Twitch or YouTube for streaming better? Oh, Twitch, 100% Twitch, all day long. Twitch. It's a much better streaming experience, for sure. Zach says, how do you feel about people being discouraged because they feel they aren't good as a DM, as the big streamers like Matt Mercer? I have a bunch of people at Adventurers Leave lament about that. How do I feel about people being discouraged? I think it's dumb. Because that's like somebody who is a star basketball player in high school, let's say, you know, really good basketball player, and he's like, you know, oh, but I'm not as good as, and I am not up to speed on my basketball players, but I know Michael Jordan was a basketball player, and I think Kobe Bryant or something like that is a basketball player or something, but let's just pretend that he's like, oh, but I'm not as good as Michael Jordan. Oh, it's silly, you know. In the same way, be like, oh, I'm not as good as Matt Mercer or all these other guys, you know. It's not a healthy mentality to compare yourself to these people, you know, to compare yourself to people that are just different than you, you know, that have been doing it longer, have different skill sets than you are, who are different people than you are. Like, you can't, comparing yourselves to other people is just dumb in general. Like, I compare myself, like, I feel like you should compare yourself to yourself. Am I getting better? Am I better this week than I was last week? Am I a better dungeon master today than I was a month ago or a year ago? If I am my own standard and I'm continually focusing on just getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit, hey, you know what? Oh, that Matt Mercer does this thing that I think is really cool. Okay, I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna get a little bit better. Oh, you know what? I'm watching Chris Perkins and he's doing, oh, I love how he does that. Ooh. Okay, so check this out. So I got this book right here, Arbiter of Worlds by Alexander Macris. I haven't read the whole thing yet. He definitely has an old school mentality, but I like it. He has a lot of really good points, and there was a couple things he mentioned in there that he does in his games that I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. And so I went away and I started doing that for one of my games. So I think that's what our mentality should be, is to learn from these other people that we see that are really good at like dungeon mastering, and then try to make our game a little bit better, try to be better at what we do. And that is a healthy way to go about improving yourself and becoming better. But just looking at other people and being like, woe is me, that's not going to get you anywhere. It's a self-defeating mentality. We should look at those people and be like, okay, great, they're doing awesome. How can I do that? You know, what can I do to up my game and get better? And that's a far more positive and productive mentality to have. But it takes work. It takes work. And what I've found is many people don't want to put in the work. Many people are just lazy. And they're like, yeah, you know, I could do that, and they're really good and stuff, but. And then they're going to list off all the excuses, all the horse crap excuses. Well, then you're going to be sitting there 20 years from now with your horse crap excuses, and you're never going to have gotten any better. And you have no one to blame but yourself. I hate excuses. Just get it done. Luke, what do you do when a player brings a min-maxed PC to your game and is really strong? Do you nerf the PC or buff the encounters? If the player followed the rules in the books and stuff, I usually try not to nerf anything. I do not like nerfs. Players do not like nerfs. Generally, I just make everything harder. That's the easiest thing for me to do. If you're running a module, it's a little bit more difficult because you got to tweak things, but I don't like nerfs. I don't like nerfing things. If it's an official published content, then I usually just let them do their thing. Almost always. There are a couple things that I'm just like Healing Spirit before Wizards. What did it take? Did it take Wizards 2 or 3 years to finally be like, gee, this spell's a little too powerful. Maybe we should change it. It took them like 2 or 3 years to finally, like, you know, change it. But like when Healing Spirit came out, and one of my players, I think it might have been Trevor, showed it to me, I looked at it and I was like, yeah, that's not gonna work that way in our game. That's ridiculous. And everybody at the table was like, yep, that's a stupid overpowered powered spell. But for the most part, like I just make my crap harder. I need more coffee. I'm gonna go grab coffee real quick. I'll be back in a hot second. Hot. Squeaky. Squeaky's been down here bothering me this whole time. He's just been here bothering me. He'll like reach his paw up and he'll be like, Hell Jordan says Penguin Butt writes a lot. Orange is king of Luke's special fur force. Actually, Squeaky is the dominant cat in the basement, I think. Yes, there is a huge difference between a min-maxer and a power gamer. Huge difference. Yeah, like Simpaticos, I would classify you as a min-maxer. And that's not a knock because I'm a min-maxer too. But that doesn't make us power gamers. We had a power gamer in our game, and we know what that's like. And that is a miserable experience. And I'm so glad that that's over. So yeah, min-maxing is not power gaming at all. You can't wait to put hot tea in that dragon mug. This is my dragon mug. Robert, the only one that's gonna put anything in my mug is me. Sorry, buddy. It's not that I don't trust you, it's just that I don't trust you. I don't even know you. I can't trust you. It's impossible. What's a power gamer? Okay, so a power gamer is somebody who, they probably do have a min-maxed character, but they also are looking for every little advantage in the game world. And they're gonna try to argue with you over every little thing. They're just trying to squeeze every little bit of power out of everything. They're probably going to be like trying to find magic items and this, that, or the other. Like for instance, a classic example of a power gamer. The character, the player is like, oh, I want to cut the saddle. I want to cut the saddle off from the horse. Dungeon Master says, okay, make an attack roll. Attack roll. How much damage? 11 damage. Well, that doesn't cut the saddle off. Oh wait, I can't cut it off in one attack? No, it takes more than one attack to cut a saddle off. Oh, well then I wouldn't have done that. I'm gonna do something different. That's the power gamer. The power gamer is trying to just everything maximize and optimize, and he will argue with the dungeon master. He'll try to get his side. He'll be like, okay, look at this is what I want to do. I want to kick down the door, rush in, attack the guy, knock his weapon out of his hands, grab it, and then run back out the door and close the door. And the dungeon master's like, well, you can't do all of that in one turn. You don't have enough actions and stuff. Yeah, but this should be in that, wasn't that? And he'll argue with you. He's trying to grab every little advantage and every little bit of power. It's horrible. It's a miserable experience. There are probably other ways to describe power gamers too, but that's been my principal experience with a power gamer. How do you get a main character to share the spotlight? I'm not sure what that means. And there's not enough context in that question. Luke, is it a bad idea to homebrew all the magic items for my campaign, for my players? Like, they like them. Well, of course, players of course will like magic items that are super powerful. Usually a homebrew is way overpowered, and players will always like that. So the quality of homebrewed classes, feats, and magic items is not indicated by how much your players like them. If things are more powerful, not all players are like this. Obviously, some players are really concerned about balance and very level-headed and stuff. But most of the time, if things are super powerful, players are probably going to like it and not mind getting those things. So whether they like it or not isn't necessarily a good indicator whether it's good homebrew or not. Good homebrew should be interesting and fun, but it should also be balanced and in line with other things of that power level. There's nothing wrong with homebrewing the crap out of things if you balance it all. And in my experience, 90% of homebrew is completely unbalanced and broken. I have a video coming out in September about homebrewing stuff. What's your favorite mini you've painted? I don't really have a favorite mini. I like them all. If we were to line them all up and I were to look at all of them, I might be able to pick one. But that's, I don't know. Offhand, I don't know. How do you make sure the talkative players don't always overshadow the quiet players so everyone plays? Okay. Hey, well, hold on a second. Hold on. Hey, John, what would your character do? That's it. You're the dungeon master. You're in control of the table. Control the table. The dudes keep talking. Get them to stop talking. Get them to quiet down. And then specifically ask the quiet players, what does your character do? Would your character like to say something to the NPC? Etc., etc. As simple as that. Control the table when you need to. How do you manage a PC spotlight hogger? I tell them to stop hogging the spotlight, and I give other players the opportunity. It might be a private conversation. It might be as simple as, hey, well, hold on a second, dude. You've been talking this whole time, and there are other players here. I want everybody to be able to play the game. So let's hold on for a second. Let's see what they want to do. I might call them out in front of everybody in a friendly, kind way. I'm not gonna be like, whatever, being a jerk about it, but a little bit of a call out saying, hey, you're hogging the spotlight. Let's get everybody else involved too. Works wonders. Just talking and communicating. Usually, I'm a pretty direct person, so usually I confront things head on. I don't beat around the bush and try to be all clever about it. I just get it done. And then it usually works pretty well. You have to deliver that stuff as well as possible with the proper tone and stuff. You can't be a jerk about it, And I would probably, clarification, when I actually have these conversations in my actual groups, I'm much more tactful. When I tell you things on a live stream like this, I'm doing a lot of it. I'm exaggerating. I'm doing it for effect. I'm being funny and that kind of crap. When I'm actually doing it in a game, I do it differently. You know what I mean? It's much more tactful and all that kind of fun stuff, Bye, Dido. See you later. Do you have useless magic items in your games? Not really. Most of my magic items come off from the tables that I roll on in the dungeon. In the Dungeon Master Guide. So no, I don't really have useless magic items. Samuel Kunson. Hello, welcome to your first stream. Glad to hear you like the content, dude. The cat has arrived. Yeah, that's Squeaky. Squeaky's down here. He gets cut off when I go to that screen. Squeaky, you're too far this way. I can't see you. No, I hate Cloak of Displacement. No Cloak of Displacement. So Zach says, is setting a time limit for players to begin declaring action in combat a good way to speed combat up? Yes. That's probably the #1 way to speed combat up, in my opinion. There are lots of other ways you can speed combat up, and all of them give you incremental improvements on combat. But by and far, I've found that the greatest way to speed combat up is to not give your players a ton of time to think about what they're going to do. Your players should be thinking about what they're going to do while everybody else is taking their turns. So then when it becomes their turn, they know what they're going to do and they can tell you what they're going to do. That's the #1 way to speed combat up, in my opinion. Hell Jordan said, Hell Jordan, you just got the questions going on. Lots of questions. It's okay. You can keep asking questions. I have a party of all casters and a rogue. Should I make a frontline NPC fighter or two to just balance encounters? Well, it depends on how many there are. If there are 4 of them or something, no, I wouldn't. Dude, I wouldn't. If I got a full group, 4 or 5 players, it's on them to figure that crap out. I am not going to run an NPC or do some bull crap. They have a full party. It's on them to make that work. That's up to them. But the caveat is I tell them this before, you know, when they're making their characters, they know that they're not going to get help from me. So if they roll in with 4 wizards, they had better be prepared to play the game with 4 wizards. And I am not changing the world and the encounters and the fact that the majority of enemies are melee fighters. I'm not changing those facts about the world because they decided to roll up 4 wizards. It's up to them to solve that problem however they want to. I don't care. If I were short players and I'm running a game with, say, 2 players, that's a different story. Then I would do something like maybe NPCs or hirelings, or I'd allow each of them to play 2 characters if they wanted to. That's a little bit of a different story in my opinion. How to prepare for a pre-made module? I do have a video about that, actually. You can go look and get a better question than the one I'm about to give you. You need to read some of it. You need to read the parts. Part of it's just reading it, dude, and understanding it. You don't necessarily have to read the whole thing. Sometimes if it's a module like Curse of Strahd, I think it's valuable to read the whole thing. I would go find my video, dude. It's called How to Run a Module. And it's going to tell you in about 12 minutes all of my best tips for running a module, dude. It's like my cop-out answer. Just go watch the video. Do you only give loot from the treasure hoard tables over an entire campaign, or do you roll on them as often as the DMG suggests, or do you have your own way to decide? I don't only give loot from the treasure hoard tables. It's my principal way of doing it. I sometimes alter them. I'll sometimes give them something different or something extra, but I primarily just roll on them. Yes. And do I roll on them as often as the DMG suggests? Yes, I do. And that usually amounts to the players having crap tons of money. So I try to give them things to spend that money on. Many times that it ends up being healing potions because I run very challenging games. So they're usually stocking up on healing potions so they don't all die. So a lot of their money goes into healing potions or scrolls or stuff like that, but they still always end up with tons of money. The economy in 5th edition is broken. You could probably, a better way to give them, I feel like from levels 1 to 5, your players are probably going to be hurting for money. They really need money. So I wouldn't alter anything from levels 1 to 5. But once they get beyond level 5, they start to accumulate quite a bit of cash, and you could probably safely cut in half the amount of gold that the DMG tells you to award them, and they'd probably be okay. And that would probably fix the entire economy in 5th edition. And the Dungeon Master wouldn't have to make up things for them to spend their gold on. How do you keep track of monster strategies or spells during combat? Do you make a plan beforehand? Maria, a lot of times, yes. A lot of times I do make a plan beforehand, especially for spellcasters. I like to know the first 3 rounds what they're going to cast. Now, sometimes the plans all get thrown aside based on what my players do, but I like to know what the spellcaster is probably going to do. What's he going to open up with? What's his strategy going to be? I once had a battle that I was running where there was a big room, and then there were columns in the room. There were lots of columns, and the columns didn't go all the way to the ceiling. There was a space at the top, and the enemy spellcaster was at the top of one of these. Well, he was on the floor, but then he used Misty Step, I think, to get up to one column, and then he fired a blast at them, and then he Misty Stepped to a different column and blasted them, and then to a different column. So he was basically teleporting around the room while he was blasting them with spells. He was doing that, or I might have given him I think I gave him a special ability, or there was some sort of magic in the room that allowed him to do that. I can't remember the exact details, but I did have a plan for how I was going to run that spellcaster. I don't always have a plan for every single encounter, but I have a decent idea for a lot of them. Especially the key encounters, the ones that I'm really excited about and I want to run really well. Those ones I usually try to come up with a plan beforehand to make them a little bit more interesting. Especially casters can be tough to run. And they can die really quick too, which is why you open up with the barrage of your very best spells. What are different ways to effectively give characters their minute in the spotlight? I think I talked about that. You just make sure that other players are quiet and you call on them and you just ask them if they want to say anything or do anything. Did you announce when your Ancient Dragon tier on Patreon is available? Will you make an announcement about it or will you increase the slots? So the Ancient Dragon tier, Rebel Buffoon, is the tier where you play D&D with me. It's currently full. There's another tier below it where you get in line to play D&D with me. And I think there are 3 people in that tier right now. And I think there's available 5 spots. But basically when my Ancient Dragon, so these 3 people are waiting to play in that tier. When my Ancient Dragon game, if a player goes away, actually a player left recently and there were actually 4 players waiting. A player left this game about a month ago, roughly. And I went to one of these guys and was like, hey, you're next in line. You want to play? He's like, yep, I want to play. He left that tier and he went up to the Ancient Dragon game. And so if anybody ever leaves here, I'm not going to announce it to anybody. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the people that have been waiting. They've been paying in that tier to get in the game. They've been waiting to get in the game. I'm going to go to them and I'm going to pull one of them in. So basically, if you want to get in line, that's the tier to go to. It's called the Ancient Dragon Reserve tier. That's how that works. And every so often I run one-shots for the reserve tier as well. So they're not just sitting there waiting forever with no hope. And they're just like, oh, if only we could play a game. I run one-shots for them every so often. There's no promised frequency to it, but I try to make it worth the wait. Yeah, Patreon is stupid. The way they have their page laid out and the tiers listed, it is hard to find the tiers and read them. Patreon, they need to get their heads out of their butts. Nick says, how would you adjust the difficulty of an encounter by using zombie versions of the enemy monsters? I don't, if the enemies still had all of their normal abilities, only they were zombies, I probably wouldn't even adjust the challenge rating of them. At low levels, you can make an argument for doing it, but at high levels, I feel like a CR10 that's now a zombie is still probably a CR10. I don't think I would even adjust that. I would just, because here's the thing too, the CR system, especially once you get past level like 8 maybe, is broken anyway and it doesn't matter. So who cares? Just save yourself some time in mathematics and just use the same CR. Do you think it's a good idea to make Orcus the big bad, or at least some kind of, it is neither a good idea nor a bad idea. It is an idea. And the merit of your idea will be based upon how it is implemented in the game and whether your players and you have fun with that idea. So there's no such thing really as a good idea. There's probably bad ideas out there, okay? But what makes a good idea is not that you came up with the idea. What makes the idea good is that when you implement it and you put it into effect, it works and people like it. Your players like it, you like it, you're having fun and it works. That's what makes a good idea. I'm running a game right now that was started based on what I thought was a good idea. It turned out to be a very bad idea. And we only discovered that after we started playing that game. The problem was the premise of the game. So the entire premise of my Wonder Panda campaign was that some characters were in their home world. They're like pandas and like koala bears and stuff, red pandas and some like tiger folk. They're in their home world and all of a sudden they are teleported to a different world and now they have to get home and they're working to try to get home. And it sounded like a really cool premise for a campaign. I have found that in implementing it, it is a bad premise and it doesn't work at all because the characters are not motivated at all about anything that's going on in the world they find themselves in. The only thing they really care about is getting back home. And so the only way that I can motivate them and give them hooks to really do anything is basically dangling a carrot and saying, hey, This is the next thing you need to do to get home. If you go talk to these people, they might know how to get home. And so I've found that entire premise, at least for this group, that entire premise of running a campaign is a failure in my opinion, and I don't think it's working very well. So I really want to just get them home so we can just start a new game. But it sounded like a good idea, and we've been playing that game for years now, and we have fun and stuff. But I only realized it was not a good idea after we started doing it, you know. And it might be a good idea for other groups, but for this particular group and for me, I don't think it's working very well. So, yeah, there's that. Offgal says, my players asked for an RP heavy game with a lot of player freedom, but they don't take initiative. How can I nurture them to seek out adventures without me always having to nudge them? I don't know. I don't need to seek out adventures without having to nudge them. Does that mean that does that mean that there's adventures out there for them to find, but they're just not going out there and finding them? At the end of the day, you can only control yourself. You can only control what you do as a dungeon master. So is there potentially a way that you could help your players get better at doing that thing and doing this, that, and the other? Maybe we could try to teach them how to do that or something. We could talk with them and explain things to them. That's a possibility. But there's almost a part of me that's like, why don't I just give them plot hooks? It's probably easier for me to just give them plot hooks. If they're not going out and taking the initiative to find adventures, then I could spend a lot of time trying to help them to do that, or I could just give them a plot hook. And I feel like giving them a plot hook is much easier. You know, and if they and if then there's a conversation that's like, well, you know, we don't feel like we're being given a lot of freedom and stuff, I'd be like, dude, I gave you guys lots of freedom and you weren't doing anything. Nobody was taking any initiative. And so now I'm giving you plot hooks. Like, you gotta pick one. Either you want freedom and you're gonna go figure it out, or I'm gonna give you plot hooks of stuff to do. Like, you gotta pick one, dude. It doesn't work when you want freedom but you don't do anything. So I don't know. There are some thoughts for you. I'm not sure how helpful that is. Yeah, I use the downtime activities from Xanathar's. Yeah. If those players aren't seeking adventure, why are they playing in the first place? I have no idea. If they're not seeking adventure, D&D is probably not the game for them. There are lots of other RPG games out there, lots of other tabletop RPG games, and D&D is you don't have to play D&D. D&D is like a combat game. It's like if you want to run an RP heavy game. Okay, let's clarify our terms for a second here. The entire game is role playing. When I'm in combat, when I'm fighting, I am role playing. Role-playing is not just the talky bits. So if there is a group that just wants to do social interactions, which is one of the 3 pillars of role-playing, if there's a group that just wants to do social interactions and they don't want any combat and they don't care about exploration and all they want to do is social interactions, then D&D is probably not the best game for them. There's probably another fantasy game that has a better game system for that or something. You know, I don't know. To me, D&D is about fighting, dude. That's just how I see it. It's like everything in the books, almost all the rules are about fighting. You know, it's like you're a tactical SWAT team. It goes into dungeons and kicks butt, man. That's like what you do. Fantasy Mall. Groups like that. I mean, players, I'm not saying not do it. Play if people like it, it's cool. Have fun the way you want to have fun. The D&D might not be the best game system for that. And I don't know which one would be. I don't have any experience with other stuff really, besides Call of Cthulhu and other versions of D&D. Is there a way to make D&D into a game where the players are like DC superheroes? No, don't do that. Okay. I would not recommend you do that. I would recommend you go buy a superhero game. It's made for that sort of thing. don't reinvent the wheel when like other fine people have made wheels. So I would go find a superhero game. Is there a way to do it? Sure, of course there is. It involves a lot of work, and since we're probably not going to be game designers doing it, it's probably going to be a flawed system with lots of problems. So it's probably better to just go buy a game that the professionals made. Question: when will we be able to throw money at you in Kickstarter? September 1st. Also, I went in through their homepage and searched the DM Lair, Luke Hart, and Into the Fae, and none of those returned anything. I don't think they will. They're not going to show you anything until it launches. There's a link to the Kickstarter right here because Penguin Butt's going to drop it for you. If you go to that link, you'll be able to follow the Kickstarter, and then it'll notify you when it goes live on September 1st. But you probably aren't going to be able to find it until it goes live. Thank you, Penguin Butt. Appreciate it. Beard Bear, what up, dude? For some reason, I saw beer. Like when your super chat came across, I saw beer, and I was like, oh. And then I read it more closely. Thanks, dude, for the $20. Appreciate that. How would you prefer to run a post-apocalyptic fantasy game? How would I prefer to run it? I would probably want to run it on. I would almost want to run it on Earth or something. Just use my knowledge of like where I live currently to run the game. I feel like that would be one of the easiest ways to do it or something. And then just have like then pull in fantasy things and stuff if I wanted to. Or I could take an existing setting like Faerun and just bombard it with a meteor and destroy everything and rewrite a whole bunch of stuff. Or something like Eberron. Ooh, if you could take Eberron and the Mournland. Imagine the Mournland. In Eberron, if the Mournland just expanded suddenly and took up the entire continent, and then most people were killed, but some people survive, and then you run that as a post-apocalyptic. That could be really cool too. So I could envision a couple different cool ways I would do that. But it would probably involve taking something that I already know and then having some cataclysmic event happen that changes things dramatically and then running a game there. That's probably how I would do it. Kickstarter for what? My Kickstarter is a module, a level 1 to 5 module called Into the Fae. It features lots of fey creatures, new monsters. It'll have some spells and crap in it, magic items and stuff like that. It's launching September 1st. So since somebody's asking about it, I'm now going to show you a bunch of photos of artwork and stuff and cool stuff I had commissioned for it. So, all right. So this is the cover art. This is actually the poster. This is going to be a poster, but it's the cover art as well. And this is the book cover mock-up of it. And then some more cool artwork here. These are some Azerati elves that are leading away some prisoners. And this is an example of the maps I'm having commissioned. This is just one of them. My map cartographer, my dungeon cartographer Lonnie gave me a map the other day that was incredible. Here's some monster art for you. So these are all just little sneak peeks at the type of art that I'm going to have commissioned for the module. I already have artists picked out and stuff as long as they're available. And they're really good. These are dice bags. This one right here would be the Kickstarter exclusive dice bag with the special coloring and stuff. Micro suede, very, very high quality. Red leather lining, holds a crap ton of dice. T-shirts, of course, Kickstarter exclusive with special colors and crap. Ladies, of course, as well. Tactical tokens, customized just for the adventure. That sort of cool stuff for the Kickstarter. So, dude, this is the bag. It's amazing. These bags are such high quality, such crazy high quality. I love these bags. I have bags that are like falling apart and crap after a couple of years. These bags are, you can just tell by feeling them these things are like never going to fall apart. They're like gonna last forever or some crap. You just feel it and you just know it's like, oh man, this is hefty stuff. I answered that question right there. Oh wow. Have you ever, or would you allow a character that has two personalities that argues with each other? As long as they don't go overboard and take too much of the spotlight away from the game, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Or if they didn't take too much of the spotlight away from the other players, I wouldn't have a problem with that. They got to keep it under control. If they get too overboard with it, it could get old. I have a player right now that has a personality trait that he's annoying, and I appreciate the fact that he's role playing his personality trait, but it is annoying. And sometimes, yeah, he doesn't need to role play that personality trait quite as much. Are there cat emojis for a Twitch thing? Or Twitch a thing? Yes, over on Twitch I have cat emojis now. Yes, yeah, because Penguin Butt got me a bunch of cat emojis, and so yes, we have cat emojis on Twitch now. It isn't our group, is it? No, Simpaticos, it's not your group. No, it's not your group. I don't have any. I mean, it's not really a complaint that I was talking about just now, but no, it's not your group. Have you ever played the Humblewood campaign? Nope, don't even know what it is. I'm running Curse of Strahd, have been for months, but took a break because of COVID. Any tips for the craziness that is Valakai quests? Also looking for to run a quick combat session while in Valakai. Tips. Yeah, so Valakai is a pretty complex town. There's lots of stuff going on in Valakai. What I did, Curse of Strahd spoiler. Actually, Simpaticos, you should probably not listen to this. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it will ruin the game for you. So Valakai has like, it's a big town, and it has the quest with the bones. It has a quest, like there's the mayor's mansion, and then there's that lady, that noblewoman who's like wants the mayor to get out of power so she can take over power. What else is there? There's the vampire hunter and his wagon. There's the mayor's henchman that wants the one girl, the one girl who's his sister. He wants to like kidnap her and get her and stuff, you know. So there's a lot of stuff going on in there. So what I did is I created a sort of I almost want to call it like a story thread or a weave or something, whereby basically what's going on is, the Watcher, Lady Watcher, I think, Lady Fiona Watcher, she wants to get the mayor, the burgomaster out of power. And so what she has done is she has stolen, Trevor, you should really not listen to this. This will screw the game for you. So she has stolen, and anybody else who's playing Curse of Strahd or doesn't want to get spoilers, she has stolen the bones from the church because the bones have been stolen, and she has hidden them in the burgomaster's house. And what she's trying to do is basically frame him for it, to get him ousted from power so that she can enter into that power vacuum herself. And so the players are going to get caught in the middle of that little web. Probably they're going to hear about the missing bones, investigate it a little bit. She's going to drop some hints through a spy or some agents of hers that they suspect the burgomaster has the bones, because he secretly wants, because once that church no longer has the protection from this saint's bones, Strahd is going to be able to attack it. And so she's setting up the burgomaster as the bad guy here so that he will get ousted from power. And so I'm creating this little web that the players will find themselves in the middle of and then have to sort their way through, you know. So that is my solution to Valakai, or Valaki, or I think it's Valakai. That's the solution I came up with. But that's not the only solution. But it is kind of a little bit of a mess. And the game doesn't really give you any suggestions for what to do there either. They just put these situations here and they just trust you to figure something out, which I don't have a problem with. I'm happy to take that stuff and then figure out something cool that could happen. I'm happy to do that. But you do kind of got to think about it a little bit. Otherwise, what do I do? Okay, somebody tell Trevor you can watch again. Hey, Trevor, we're good to go. You can listen again. Okay, yeah, that's the best way to do it, is to tell him to type it in. I'm like trying to do gestures and stuff. And probably typing is the easiest way to do it. Everybody, thanks for letting Trevor know. Are you using an expanded version of Curse of Strahd? No, I don't have that one. The bones aren't there. The bones aren't in the module there? Why did they take that out? I thought they were taking the crap out that was like not politically correct or something, and that people were offended over and stuff. Why would they take the bones out? What's wrong with the bones? There's nothing wrong with the bones of Saint Andrel. I don't see how somebody's gonna get offended over that, or it's insensitive or anything. So I don't know what the problem is with that. No, I'm not using the expanded one. I'm not gonna buy it again either. I already have the version of it, a version of it, and that's good enough. Wizards, I don't know, dude. I kind of feel like Wizards is gonna take a big loss. They're gonna take a big loss on that product, because most people who want Curse of Strahd probably have it, and there is no reason to buy the expanded version if you already have the first version of it. So there are gonna be some people that don't have it. They're gonna buy it because why not? You know, but I bet they're gonna take a monetary loss on that product. Almost guarantee you. It's insensitive to I don't know what's wrong with the bones. There are some things in there that, okay, sure, you got a point. Some of those things I could understand. Yeah, okay. But bones? The new Curse of Strahd is just PR service. Well, Peleg, I have no comments on that. No official comments on that. I get myself in trouble enough with my big mouth. I'll just keep quiet about some things. Are they in a different location? I'm not sure what that is about. What is the best module for first-time DM to run? I don't know. Into the Fae. the best module for a first-time DM to run. Hold on a second. Hold on. This is the perfect time. This is the perfect time. The best module for a first-time Dungeon Master to run is Into the Fae, which will be available September 1st on Kickstarter. Link below. Actually, you guys, I get lots of questions from people who are like, you know, what's a first module I can use? What's a first module I can use? And I haven't read a lot of the modules, in all honesty, so it's hard for me to recommend stuff. And so I'm kind of happy that I'm going to have a level 1 to 5 module that I'm going to be able to recommend to people. That, you know, I've obviously read it because I wrote the stupid thing, and that I think is pretty cool. Obviously, I have a bias, you know. So now I'm just gonna, now every time somebody's like, what's a good first level start module? I'm just gonna be like, oh, I have an answer for you. The Lost Mines of Phandelver, I've always heard good things about it. I agree with that. Oh, so all of a sudden he knows how to plug stuff? Yeah, Danny, I know. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Nobody buy the t-shirts though. I have a bunch of merch. Hey, can we get a link to the merch, please? Link to the merch in the chat here. Yeah, the t-shirts, the hoodies, they're far too comfortable and beautiful. You definitely do not want to buy any of these things. Very, very, very poor. Don't buy any of that junk. It's very, very bad. How's that, Danny? Making Danny's day. Do I use the term bones in Into the Fae? What are you doing over there? You better knock it off. I don't know what Orange is doing. He's doing something weird on that box. Why don't you just get off that box? This is my box. This is my box that has all of my Kickstarter t-shirts in it. And I don't know what he was doing to it. So he just lost his box. It's got me terrified. Oh, I'm out of coffee too. I'm gonna get some coffee. Oh, getting low on coffee. Getting very low on coffee. How much information would you typically provide or time would you spend on creating an NPC, specifically on a main NPC and on a really unimportant NPC like a shopkeeper in a one store visit? Hey, Chloe. Hey, are you the Chloe that I exchanged some emails with? I think you are. Welcome. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot at all. Throwaway NPCs, I will spend almost no time at all on. I'll improvise almost everything on the spot. Okay, cool. You are awesome. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. The main NPCs, I might flesh out a few more things. I'm gonna, at a bare minimum, I'm gonna know their name. I'm gonna have a general description of them. I'm gonna know what their motivation is. If they have a profession or something, why they do what they do is important. That helps me role play them. If I know what their motivation is, that gives me information to role play them with. So that's pretty important for me. You know, like a blacksmith just wants to, you know, make money so he can support his family and go home. A town guard doesn't want to die, but he also doesn't want to get fired. So he can't be a total coward. Because ultimately he has a family to go home to too. And so if I know their motivations, it helps me role play them. So I'm probably going to flesh that a little bit. I'm not going to go a whole lot farther. You could do a bunch of different stuff. You can go into flaws and secrets and all of this kind of stuff. And I don't tend to go into that much detail, in all honesty. Yeah, that artwork was really cool. I agree. All right, cool. Yay! Chloe's with us. I really am pumped that you're here because I remember exchanging emails and stuff with you. So it's cool. It's really cool. Pelig says, what do you think about an enemy getting an opportunity attack on a Nat 1? For both PCs and NPCs, Nat 1s are 20, don't counter attack. That feels like a double gotcha. It's like, oh, a Nat 1, I missed. Ha ha! Not only did you miss, but now the enemy is gonna get an opportunity attack on you. Oh, jeez. So you trip me to the ground, then you kick me in the face. Isn't it just enough to trip me to the ground? But I feel like that's one of those like double gotchas where you already feel bad enough, and now you like another bad thing happens to you. I don't know. I don't think I like that. Hey, Tenjin, what up, dude? How you doing? Greetings from Germany, you say? All right. Well, greetings from Michigan. Repost. Now, if they have repost, that's a different story. That's a totally different story. What is Simpaticos doing? What is Simpaticos doing that's so bad? Chloe says, I'm happy to be here. You rock. Well, I'm happy you're here. I'm happy everybody's here.
Welcome to the Lair.
There's pain and suffering for everybody.
There we go. Got to do that every so often to remind everybody about my cool stream board I have. You know, am I a Michigander? Yeah. Troll or Youper? I'm not a Youper. I can tell you that much. I'm not familiar with Troll though. Oh, under the bridge? Oh yeah, I would be under the bridge. Yes. Okay, now I understand. I'm not a Youper though. No. I'll tell you what though, I love the pasties. I would so live in the Upper Peninsula and the Traverse City, Mackinac City area just for the pasties. Oh, oh. Drooling over here. You're from Oakland County? Cool. Good, dude. Luke, you're drunk. Go home. I'm not drunk. I am home, actually. I'm more of a fudgy? I don't even know what that means. That doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good at all. Simpaticos is the mean one. I tried to be nice. Stephanie, come on, really? Are you really being nice? I don't... Simpaticos is such a nice guy. Simpaticos is going to be helping me build my new computer this next Friday. So I have to be nice to him right now, all right? But I promise you, once I have my new computer... No, he's my tech support guy too. I'm going to have to be nice to him for a long time, you guys. So you're not going to get any help from me. Yeah, I'm sorry. Simpaticos is awesome. It's just the way it is now. I have to suck up to him forever. This sucks. I should have thought about that before. Crap. Oh, by the way, Simpaticos, I got some of the hardware today. You're gonna love this. Amazon packed the DVD drive and the memory chips in a box. No padding or anything, just floating around in a box. So in transit, I'm sure it was like ka-dunk. And the DV drive just was in a plastic bag. That's it. It was just in a plastic bag. And it wasn't even closed. It was like open. Have you ever run a one-shot where your characters play D&D inside their universe? I don't know what the point of that would be. Danny, he's recruited people to be mean to you. Hey, nobody is mean to Danny except for me. We have established that. Do you like Disney princess movies as D&D inspiration? I can't. Disney has ruined my beloved Star Wars franchise, and I will never forgive them for that. I refuse to watch anything Disney these days. They are like the devil, and I am done. Oh, somebody to remember. Well, that sucks. You gotta go, dude. But have fun at D&D, man. We'll see you next time. I stream on Twitch Mondays and Wednesdays too, so you can always come over then. Oh, you live in Wisconsin, Brad? Cool. Yeah, Midwest is awesome. I love Midwest. Robin says, my husband agrees with you, Luke, about Star Wars. Oh, yes. My goodness. Don't get me started on Star Wars. The whole stream will turn into a rant. Let's not even go there. I can't. Let's calm down. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. My hammer's about to work overtime? Why? Have you ever run a game in Spanish? Yeah, I have. Hey, ¿qué onda? ¿Cómo te va? I lived in Central America for 4 years, and I ran like 2 games in Spanish, and I was a missionary down there. I ran 2 games of D&D in Spanish, and then the church that I was working for told me I had to stop because D&D was evil. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go play D&D online then. Thank you very much. And so I played D&D in my like room, and nobody knew that I was playing it. I was like, tell me not to play D&D. Would you rant about Disney if not Star Wars? Probably not. It's mostly just Star Wars. They just destroyed Star Wars. Has your wife made it home yet? No, my wife is still not here, dude. She has a plane ticket for next Wednesday. It hasn't been canceled yet, but all the other flights are being canceled in that time period, so I'm pretty sure it's not gonna happen. Was it during the Satanic Panic? No, it was after that. It was way after that. It was like in the 2000s. It was in the 2000s. This church was just like way behind in different things. I couldn't even drink. Like they were like, they told me not to drink in public. And I'm just like, oh my God. And they're like, they had reasons and crap. It was like, okay, whatever. I'll follow your rules. Even though they're dumb. Chaotic cleric? Yeah. I can't just rant about anything. Something has to inspire it. It doesn't work. I can't just turn it on. Well, thanks, Hal Jordan. I appreciate that. Oh, don't throw up! The cat just threw up on stream. Really? 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 Well, I should clean that up. You know you have too many cats when you have everything here to clean it up. That was Squeaky, by the way. Courtesy of Squeaky. Hey, Ranwin, what's going on? How you doing? A burger? Yeah, I would love a burger. I would totally love a burger. Penguin Butt says, please use question and not a variation of this. That way I can get it into the spreadsheet. Thank you. Rant about cat irk while speaking in the voice of the druid doing push-ups and dancing. No, Fred, that's not happening. Little guy. Little guy. Come here, little guy. Little guy. Oh. Oh. This is little guy. Little guy. Little guy. Oh. He doesn't really want to be held. Little guy. He likes to roll on the ground and get his belly rubbed. I can't rant. It needs to happen naturally. Cat throws up on stream. I know, man. Hey, Taco Robot, what up? How you doing? Welcome to the stream, dude. Which one of the cats loves you as their favorite? Squirty Pie and Squeaky follow me everywhere. I can't even go to the bathroom without Squirty Pie following me. You're about to look at Out of the Abyss. What are your first things that you would personally change immediately? Spoiler, I've never read it. I've never played it. I don't know. I don't run a lot of modules. I create most of my adventures from scratch. Please give us a teaser for your new Kickstarter, like a new monster. You want a teaser? Okay, so hold on. I'll show you one of the monsters. Where's my monster? Where's my monster? Where's that guy? There it is. So this right here is one of my monsters. This is a Soul Spawn Extractor is the name of this. Soul Spawn Extractor. And it is a fiend that basically has these tentacles that wrap you up. It attaches its mouth to you, and I think it plants I think it plants like an egg or something in you, and then it puts you into like a cocoon or something, and then you slowly transform into one of these things. So it like infects you basically. So that's this guy. Yeah. So that's kind of what that guy does. Yeah, it's a fiend. It's a fiend. Any advice on altering monster sizes? Nope, I just change it. I just change the size as I want, how I need it. That's all. Have you ever created a race for your game? Nope. I just use the official ones. I've never created classes either. There's no point. There's enough official stuff where I don't need to do that. There's no point. Is your quest-based leveling system going to be your next? Yeah. It's a quest point based leveling system, and yes, that's going to be in the Kickstarter. I'm doing a one-shot where a main theme is that magic is shunned and any use of it is heavily punished. How would I go about doing so my PCs in a way isn't extremely brutal? Tell them in advance that that's the thing you're doing so that they don't roll up magic. Tell them in advance, tell them what the rules are so they can go into it knowing how it works. And if they don't like those rules, then they don't roll up magic users. There's no way not to make that brutal. The whole point of what you just said is that magic users are shunned and it's heavily punished. There's no way to eat your cake and eat it too. Have your cake and eat it too. Either it's shunned and heavily punished and also brutal, or it's not brutal. I don't know a way to do both. But definitely be upfront with your characters. Hey Sentry, thank you for the $10 super chat, sir. I appreciate that. The Bard. Can I seduce it though? I don't know what that means. Thank you for $10 though. I appreciate that. How long does it take to film the short skits at the start of your videos, and how long does it take to write them down? Catherine. Hey, so I film all of my videos in batches. I film an entire month of videos all at once. So for the skits for the videos, from setting up my equipment to tearing down my equipment, usually takes about 8 hours to film the skits at the beginning of videos. It is a very, very long, time-intensive process for filming the skits. The skits, even though they last 1 to 2 minutes at the beginning of a video, take twice as long to film as the talking head parts of my videos. Now, if you look at when I do the setup and teardown for talking heads, I'm usually looking at about 4 hours. It takes me about an hour and a half to get everything set up properly. It usually takes me about maybe 2 hours to actually do the filming, and then a half hour to take everything down. So the skits take by far the longest. That's not including scripting. Scripting is on top of that. Each video takes me about 3 to 6 hours to write the script for. The 6 hours is an anomaly. I had a couple scripts that took a long time to write, and that was not a fun experience. But usually I can get a script done in about 3 hours. Hey, you're very welcome, Maria. I'm happy you like the skits. Andrew says skits good. It's funny because I get comments from time to time about people who don't like the skits, and they're like, stop doing the skits. And I'm just like, listen, hello. If you don't like them, just scrub ahead. It's the easiest thing in the world. And then the majority of people like the skits. I've done polls. And then everybody who likes the skits can watch them. If I stop doing them, I'm satisfying the minority, the lazy minority who doesn't want to scrub ahead. Just scrub ahead, don't watch them, and let everybody else enjoy them. It's a very simple solution. So I still get comments like, I don't like the skits. And it's like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to. Scrub ahead and everybody wins. Everybody's happy. You know, you took a couple seconds to scrub ahead. It's not that big of a deal, you know. And the skits are amazing for audience retention. Like, I noticed a massive difference in the audience retention of my videos when I started doing the skits. Like, generally your audience retention is just like well, my audience retention is much better than sometimes audience retention is just like, "Arr!" You know, some people's audience retention on their videos, it's like everybody's watching and then about 10 seconds in, they're gone. You know, that's horrible. You don't want that. But the skits give me amazing audience retention at the very beginning of the video. People just watch. They just watch, you know, and then the rest of the video still usually has pretty good audience retention. You know, I usually am able to keep about 50% of the people all the way to the very end of the video, the very, 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 very end of it, you know, through a variety of things that I do intentionally in my videos to replicate that outcome. So anyway, we're now talking about like video creation techniques, strategies, and theory. It's not theory. It's not theory. It works. I've been doing it for a while. I know it works. It's one of the reasons I don't do jump cuts. There are two reasons I don't do jump cuts. One, I hate them. They're lazy. They're bad. Okay. Two, when you crop cut or push in and pull out and stuff between your cuts, it causes your brain when you're watching it to reset, and you have to, oh, things changed, and then you have to like take it in again. Oh, things changed again. Even if you're just changing, pushing in, pushing out, cropping here and cropping there, it keeps your attention longer. It makes the video more captivating than if you're just sitting at somebody dead center camera for however long with jump cuts, you know. So there, a lot of these things that I do are very, very strategic and tactical, you know, to get a desired result. Anyway, that's, nobody cares about that, I'm sure. The point is I'm not just turning on a camera and making video and just recording videos. I wouldn't be nearly as successful if I did that. You know, there's thought behind a lot of this stuff, deep thought and strategy, testing and improvements, continual improvements and crap on it. Have I ever thought of having random skits pop up in the middle of videos? I do that all the time. I do that all the time in my videos. I think the coffee cam is the best metric for viewer retention. Is everybody just staring at my coffee cam? They're like, okay, keep drinking. just
keep drinking. Just drink it.
Hey Cooper, what up, dude? I'm glad you like the videos, man. Stephanie Britton says, I'm starting a new campaign with a new character. I'm fairly new and I have avoided magic users so far as it seems complicated and daunting. What kind of magic user would you recommend? The easiest thing for you is probably going to be a sorcerer. Warlocks are confusing. You basically, if you're talking magic user, you're probably looking at a warlock, a druid, a wizard, or a sorcerer. Those are the core magic user, or a bard. I feel like the easiest one for you, just getting into it, is probably the easiest one to play is a sorcerer, because you know a certain number of spells and you never have to worry about swapping them out or changing them. And I feel like the archetypes are pretty straightforward. They're not that complicated. I feel like warlocks and bards are more complicated to play for certain reasons, and I don't think I'd recommend those to a new player. A wizard, you have to worry about swapping out spells and stuff and maintaining your spell book, which isn't that big of a deal, but it's more complicated than a sorcerer. And then what's the other one? A druid. A druid is more complicated too, because you got wild shape and stuff thrown in there. Although it can be lots of fun, for sure. But if you're looking for the simplest one, in my opinion, it's gonna be sorcerer. Just my opinion. But druid is a lot of fun too. Druid's a lot of fun. You might really like druid. Just because of the wild shape. It gives you a variety, it gives you some versatility. Whereas a lot of times with a sorcerer, you're just going to be casting spells. If you're a druid with wild shape, then you can cast spells, but you can also turn into like a bear or something and attack people. Look at my cat. Oh, you can't Squirty Pie. Look at her. She's just sitting there. Squirty pie. I don't know what she wants. Does she want me to rub her belly? Like, is that what she's going for? Squirty pie. Look at little guy's coming over. Little guy, what's going on? Like, oh yeah. Easy squirty. Squirty pie. All right, let's put the camera back. That's awesome. A little bit more. There we go. Rub the belly. I know, she's like, I'm in the position. Rub my belly. Rub my belly. It's, yes, Nick, it is so adorable when they do that. Oh my goodness. Squeaky does it too. Squeaky does it all the time too. Abcod, yes, we are going to do NPC creation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have done 2 hours of Q&A. So we are now going to transition over to NPC creation. Now, there were tons of questions that I did not answer. I know that because I talk a lot and there were lots of questions. I also have live streams on Twitch Mondays and Wednesdays where I answer questions as well. So you're welcome to join me there. A link below. Thank you, Penguin Butt. I appreciate that. But what we're going to do right now is we're actually going to go over to my Twitch channel right now, and we're going to finish the live stream tonight, the NPC creation over on Twitch. So if you want to come over there, hang out and help us create some NPCs, then you're welcome to do so. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to, there's a link to my Twitch channel right there. Penguin Butt just dropped it. I am going to end this stream here on YouTube. I am going to start up my stream over on Twitch. It usually takes me about 5 minutes to get it set up, and then we will be streaming on Twitch, and we will finish up NPC creation over on Twitch. You good? All right, cool. So I'm going to end this shindig here, and I'm going to see you guys over there. Oh, yeah. It'll be fun. Why is this not working? Hey! My webpage isn't working. Come on, let's go. Let's go, webpage. Come on, webpage. There we go. Now it's working. All right. I'll see you over there.